I suffered with depression because I had been molested sexually as a child. A church that we were attending at the time, it was on my 10th birthday that this preacher took me out for my birthday. And he took me to his house, and there, he started to touch, and it was an old lady who came in and intercepted it, right? She stopped it, And when I came home, I told my parents. But I never knew, we never went back to the church, but I never knew what the outcome was. Didn't know. But from that moment on, I believe the fear set in and the drinking and whatnot. Once I took that first drink, it calmed me down. I wasn't afraid anymore. Got my own place, moved out of my parents' apartment with my son, and I finished school. I think it progressed, the drinking, because I had no one to monitor me, what I was doing. And I suffered a nervous breakdown. And I drank to cover up those feelings. And after I went to AA and I got sober, but the depression came in because that's why I was drinking. I was trying to cover up the drinking. And in 1992, my brother died from AIDS. And that really, I had never experienced death before in my life. And that's what really increased the depression. I never recovered from that. And I started back taking the medication, and then my parents got sick, and they were dying, and then my brother, and it was death all around me. And I didn't know how to deal with that. And it was driving me crazy, but I didn't tell anyone about it because at one time I was on 22 different types of medication, but none of it helped. It just numbed me, but it never took away. I wasn't afraid. I was happy. I think, but once the medication wore off, the sadness was still there. Okay, I talked about it. I went to several therapies, groups, and treatment. And once my mother passed, that was it. My family just dispersed. Someone told me it was like a generational curse that my family was under, and we would never be together as a family. We were all raised together, very close, but the brothers were separated. They never got together as brothers, but their children did. Everybody knew I drank. I went to AA and whatnot, but they kind of used that to make me look like such a horrible person. It seemed like the more I tried, the more I got knocked down. Everything I attempted to do, I finally finished my bachelor's. I was going to school to complete my master's, and I felt a force. It felt like glue holding my feet down every time I attempted to go to my classes or to register, and my job was attacking me. It seemed like every time I tried to get there on time and to do what I needed to do, there was something going on. I worked nights, and during my break, we would all go somewhere and go to sleep. I wouldn't be able to move, right? And my co-workers would come over and wake me up and ask me if I was okay. And one woman told me, Blanche, you were speaking in tongues. I was crying constantly because it got even worse, relationships, everything. My son, we had no kind of cohesiveness. And I would cry about it, and I would pray about it, and I would yell out to God and say, I'm asking you for help. Why don't you help me? You see what's going on. And I felt so bad inside. I remember listening to the Universal Church on television. And I've seen churches like that before. And I saw, I don't believe that. I really don't believe it. And one night, I said, I'm just going to call. Something compelled me to call. I remember the date, and when the person picked up the phone, it was a Friday night. The first time I walked in that door, it was like I gave every bit of my depression because I couldn't remember being sad. And the feelings of being sad, depressed, afraid, it was incredible. I did a chain of prayers. The first thing that happened to me, I was freed from depression. My son's girlfriend, his fiance, she comes. My son, first time in his life, participated and came to church with me. A lot of things that happened with COVID, we lost close people. My son's father, mother-in-law, aunt, all in 3 days. And this is a man that I was with for over 54 years. And it should have really knocked me, but we lived through that. I got baptized. I don't have to take anything. I quit smoking. And I had tried forever. I said, God, if you take these cigarettes away from me so many times, I would never pick them up again. I realized I have 2 years now. I have a lot of peace inside of me. So much has happened to me from the night that I've walked in the Universal Church. I need to write it down because it's been a lot. And I only make room for more miracles in my life. And that's what's going on now. Those things that are better for me now, they are better. There's things keep coming that I need to work on. So I keep coming to the Universal Church.